And you've been skeptical more than a lot of the Democrats about the impeachment inquiry. Were you surprised by what he did yesterday?
Well, look, the facts are important, and we'll get to that. I want to start with something that I think is also important about facts, because recently on your show here...
I was just going to get to that.
Good. Helping you out.
You want me to ask you the question?
What happens when former Congresswoman and fiery political commentator Tulsi Gabbard steps onto The View's set? Chaos. Tulsi didn't just hold her ground. She completely dismantled Joy Behar and Whoopi Goldberg with facts, poise, and unshakable confidence. From defending her patriotism to exposing the hypocrisy of the hosts, Gabbard left the panel scrambling for a rebuttal. Stay tuned as we unpack every jaw-dropping moment from this must-watch confrontation. The tension was palpable from the moment Tulsi Gabbard sat down. Joy Behar wasted no time bringing up Tulsi's past controversies, and it was clear from her tone that the hosts were ready to attack. But what they didn't anticipate was just how prepared Tulsi would be to hit back. Joy kicked things off by referencing Tulsi's past criticism of the Democratic Party, and even Hillary Clinton. She framed her questions with thinly veiled accusations, but Tulsi wasn't having any of it.
Have accused me of being a traitor to my country, a Russian asset, a Trojan horse, or a useful idiot, I think was the term that you used. Which basically means that I'm naive or lack intelligence to know what's going on.
They use that.
I want to let your viewers know exactly who I am.
All right.
Set the record straight. I am a patriot. I love our country. I am a strong and intelligent woman of color, and I have dedicated almost my entire adult life to protecting the safety, security, and the freedom of all Americans in this country. It was the attacks on 9/11.
You've accused me of being a Russian asset, a Trojan horse, and a useful idiot. Tulsi began, her calm demeanor contrasting sharply with Joy's hostility. I want to be very clear to your viewers who I am. She continued, her voice steady. I am a patriot. I've spent my life serving this country, whether in uniform as a soldier or in Congress.
I guess we're getting a little bit far ahead of ourselves, but Franklin Graham finds you refreshing. He doesn't find me refreshing. Richard Spencer, the white nationalist leader, says he could vote for you.
Joy, this is why
you're on Tucker Carlson at least 10 times. Why don't you go on Chris Wallace's show?
This is why I'm here.
And I'm here today because I refuse to let lies define me. Joy Behar looked visibly uncomfortable, attempting to interrupt, but Tulsi wasn't done. You can attack me all you want, but what you're doing is dangerous. When you smear someone for speaking out, you're not just silencing me. You're sending a message to anyone who dares challenge the status quo. The conversation quickly shifted to Hillary Clinton's infamous claim that Tulsi was being groomed by the Russians. A clip was played, showing Hillary's accusations in full, and the audience watched as Tulsi's expression hardened. This is outrageous and offensive, Tulsi said. To imply that someone who has dedicated their life to this country is some kind of traitor? It's not just wrong, it's dangerous.
Because you and other people continue to spread these innuendos that have nothing to do with who I am.
Well, Hillary Clinton started it, and then you shot back at her, boy. You called her the queen of warmongers.
You doubled down, unfortunately, you doubled down on the baseless accusations that she made that strikes at the core of who I am. I'm a soldier. Because of the attacks on 9/11, I enlisted in the military to go after and defeat and destroy the evil that visited us on that day. I've served now for over 16 years, deployed twice to the Middle East during the height of the war, where every single day I saw firsthand the terribly high human cost. It's why I ran for Congress.
We actually have the clip of Hillary Clinton, just to put this in context of what we're talking about. Let's take a look at that.
I'm not making any predictions, but I think they've got their eye on somebody who's currently in the Democratic primary and are grooming her to be the third-party candidate. She's the favorite of the Russians. They have a bunch of, sites and bots and other ways of supporting her so far. And that's assuming Jill Stein will give it up, which she might not, because she's also a Russian asset.
She went on to call out Hillary's foreign policy, saying, "This is the same woman who championed regime change wars that cost thousands of lives. including my brothers and sisters in uniform. Her criticism of me says more about her record than mine.
So
Really? I mean, this is outrageous. This is outrageous and offensive on so many levels. I've served as a member of Congress now for almost 7 years, receiving high-level national security and intelligence briefings, serving on the Foreign Affairs Committee, the Armed Services Committee, the Homeland Security Committee, working to ensure the safety and security of the people of this country. This is why I'm running for president, to continue that commitment of service.
So are you surprised, though, that when people see bots and things and all the things that we've sort of been seeing heading your way, that people have these questions? Because she's not the only one. Hillary, I don't think, is the only one. So what she's saying is she feels they are grooming you. You're saying nobody's grooming me. I'm doing what I'm doing because I'm a soldier and a patriot.
It's offensive to me as a soldier, as an American, as a member of Congress, as a veteran, and frankly, as a woman, to be so demeaned.
As Tulsi continued dismantling the narrative, Joy Behar attempted to change the subject. She brought up Tulsi's interviews on conservative platforms, implying that she was pandering to the right.
But you called her the personification of rock.
So demeaned
She's a woman
in such
too.
a way. Well, I'm pointing to the fact that she has continued this legacy of being the world's police around the world, that has waged wars costing the lives of thousands of my brothers and sisters in uniform. I'm speaking out against that and
What's
to
your evidence
change.
to that?
To change.
Well, can I?
Are you serious?
Let's hear it.
Are you serious?
Let's hear it.
I served in the war
Not
in
you,
Iraq.
her. You're saying that she's-
exactly.
she's a
I
warmonger.
served
How do
in
you
the
come
war
up with
in
that?
Iraq
Yeah.
that she championed. She championed a regime change war
Did you not
in
believe
Libya.
in that war?
I believe the lies that were told to us.
Well, so did she.
Look, it is indisputable. It is indisputable to say anything other than the fact that Hillary. Let me just close this out. That Hillary Clinton, throughout her career, has led with a foreign policy of interventionism and being the world's police, going and toppling dictators in other countries that has caused such destruction and loss of life. I'm against that. I'm running for president to change that. Rather than actually debate me on the issues, she and others are resorting to these smear tactic campaigns, seeking to undermine me, smear my character, and sending a message to anyone who dissents. Toe the line, or you too will be smeared.
But Tulsi had an answer for that too. I'll speak to anyone, anywhere, if it means bringing attention to the issues that matter. She said, unlike some, I don't play partisan games. I believe in solutions, not division. Realizing that Joy was floundering, Whoopi Goldberg stepped in. She tried to steer the conversation toward foreign interference and election security, but her arguments quickly unraveled. You talk about election interference, but let's be honest. Who's really interfering when we're silencing voices like mine?
Hillary Clinton has been doing a job ducking Tulsi Gabbard's attempt to serve her with a defamation lawsuit, using her Secret Service guards and personal attorneys to block Gabbard's efforts. However, the former Secretary of State and presidential candidate has reportedly finally accepted the papers after lots of media coverage of her denial. It proves you can't hide forever and settles what may become a nasty fight between two Democratic Party favorites.
Tulsi countered, we can't protect democracy by destroying it. The crowd gasped, and even Whoopi seemed taken aback. The most powerful moment came when Tulsi addressed the panel's hypocrisy directly. You sit here and claim to represent the American people, but you don't speak for them. You speak for a political elite that's more interested in maintaining power than solving problems. She said, you talk about being inclusive, but the moment someone steps out of line, you attack them. You don't want diversity of thought. You want obedience.
You can't hide forever, even if you're Hillary Clinton. Clinton had been successfully dodging Representative Tulsi Gabbard's efforts to serve her with a $50 million defamation lawsuit by reportedly using her Secret Service guards and personal lawyers to turn the process server away. Well, that is until now. Clinton reportedly finally accepted the lawsuit papers, and the case is now moving forward. FoxNews.com quoted Gabbard's attorney, Brian Dunn, as saying that after the media picked up this story, Ms. Clinton's lawyer changed course and agreed to accept service. Gabbard filed a defamation lawsuit against Hillary Clinton for comments Clinton made on a podcast back in October, calling the Hawaii Congresswoman a Russian asset and the favorite of the Russians.
They've got their eye on somebody who's currently in the Democratic primary and are grooming her to be the third-party candidate. She's the favorite of the Russians. They have a bunch of sites and bots and other ways of supporting her so far.
But if they can falsely portray me as a traitor, then they can do it to anyone. And in fact, that's exactly the message that they want to get across to you. That if you stand up against Hillary and the party power brokers, if you stand up to the rich and powerful elite and the war machine, they will destroy you and discredit your message.
By the end of the segment, it was clear who had won the debate. Joy and Whoopi were left flustered, with little more than vague platitudes to fall back on. Meanwhile, Tulsi's calm and measured responses had left a lasting impression on both the audience and viewers at home.
To win a defamation case, a plaintiff has to prove a number of very important things, including that the comments made about that person resulted in some kind of serious harm and/or damages. Defamation cases are some of the toughest to prove in court. Well, to make her point in the court of public opinion, Gabbard recently went on Tucker Carlson's show on Fox News to bemoan Clinton's comments and posted this tweet with a clip of the appearance on her Twitter account where Gabbard has more than 700,000 followers. She also tweeted this video of her snowboarding recently in New Hampshire while on the campaign trail. It's on her Facebook page, too, where she has close to 500,000 followers and even advertises for a chance to win a trip to New Hampshire and even go snowboarding with Tulsi. So whether or not Gabbard has been destroyed and her message discredited by Hillary Clinton, and as she described, the rich and powerful elite and war machine will now presumably be part of her case to prove in court.
One or greater. A fact that doesn't ever seem to be acknowledged. But not only that, what was Citizens United about? You know, it's interesting. Most people at home, they've heard about Citizens United. They know it makes Democrats very, very upset. But they don't actually know what the case is about. Citizens United concerned whether or not it was legal to make a movie criticizing a politician. Specifically, Citizens United is a small nonprofit organization based here in D.C. that made a movie that was critical of Hillary Clinton. And the Obama Justice Department took the position that it could punish Citizens United for daring to make a movie critical of a politician. The case went all the way to the U.S. Supreme Court. At the oral argument, there was a moment that was truly chilling. Justice Sam Alito asked the Obama Justice Department, "Is it your position, under your theory of the case, that the federal government can ban books?" And the Obama Justice Department responded, "Yes. Yes, it is our position that if the books criticize a political candidate, a politician, the federal government can ban books." As far as I'm concerned, that is a terrifying view of the First Amendment. Citizens United was decided 5-4. By a narrow 5-4 majority, the Supreme Court concluded the First Amendment did not allow the federal government to punish you for making a movie critical of a politician. And likewise, that the federal government couldn't ban books. 4 justices dissented. 4 justices were willing to say the federal government can ban books and can ban movies and presumably could ban books as well. When Hillary Clinton was running for president, she explicitly promised every justice she nominated to the court would pledge to overturn Citizens United. By the way, Hillary Clinton said she would demand of her nominee something you have rightly said that this administration has not demanded of you, which is a commitment on any case as to how you will rule. Democrats have shown no compunction in expecting their nominees to make a promise. Here's how I'm going to vote on a pending case. Judicial ethics be damned.
Perhaps the most telling moment came after the cameras stopped rolling, when reports surfaced that members of The View's production team were overheard calling the segment a disaster for the hosts. Tulsi Gabbard's appearance on The View wasn't just a confrontation. It was a masterclass in how to handle political attacks with grace and strength. What do you think about Tulsi's fiery takedown of Joy Behar and Whoopi Goldberg? Did she change your perspective, or do you side with the hosts? Let us know in the comments below.